This is definitely a meal, best ever of Stafford. When wearing clothes, easy access to protein freedom in the cold Arctic Circle. It's not just a full grill, but also fresh salmon salad, combined with nutrient-rich sea clams. Survival program. He's turned this outdoor vacation. The Nolan Mountains, the west coast of Norway, just over 100 kilometers from the Arctic Circle. Similar harsh weather to avoid freezing. This time I broke the rules of wearing a feather coat. G program team. He hired a nuclear helicopter to take him to the top of the mountain, desolate as the sound of the plane's engine drifted away. The challenge officially begins, according to the old rules, without food or survival gear. So confident that you don't even wear your hair. For the next 10 days, you're on your own. No map, no compass. You stand on the high simple plan. At the top of the mountain with no cover to survive. We must get to the foot of the mountain before dark. It's only snow outside. Carrying 10 kilograms of luggage, climbing down difficult terrain. Before long I was panting. It won't be okay if you keep going. So I figured out how to sit on the ski. Down playing adventure games, skiing and excitement screeched excitedly, suddenly having fun like a kid over 40. Just slid down his throat dry to smoke. Drinking water directly will cause hypothermia. So he picked up some moss nearby, squeezed fresh drinking water. Delicious, great. The water problem is temporarily solved. Next, need to solve the heating for tonight, because the nighttime temperature here can drop to a couple of -10 degrees. The old man's strawberry-like leaves. It's a great material to start a fire. You collect 10 immediately to reserve. It's going to be dark for over an hour, but still haven't found shelter. What's worse is snow all year round. There's no dry material to start a fire. There's definitely no fire tonight. So, I put hay in my pants to dry, thanks to body heat. We can light a fire in the morning. Then he found a dry patch of land nearby. I have to sleep with the sky as my blanket. But when night comes, the temperature plummets. There's no fire. I can't stand the shiver. You have to stay warm all night. I swear I have to start a fire today at all costs. First, find the right place to make camp against the stream. Found an empty land near the mountains and rivers. Beautiful scenery is ideal for building shelters. Finalize the location. The urgent thing is to start a fire. He took the hay that had dried overnight in his pants. The sound was very crisp, very good effect. But in this cold, humid environment, it's not possible to use sticks to start a fire. He looked for stones to ignite. Accidentally picked up an iron artifact. It's about a few million years. It's better than rocks. Use it to ignite. It's different from using wood. Ignition requires strength and skill. After 2.5 hours of persistence, it's finally created a little spark. Continuous light blowing. You finally succeeded in igniting a fire. Afraid the new difficult fire group will be extinguished, I gathered all the dry wood around, and then moved some big rocks from the coast. Use a tree branch to make a bed from the ground, and combed up the branches. Soft information to increase comfort. To the evening, thanks to the fire, I finally got a good night's sleep. To the third day, when the survival skills of 3 days without eating come into play. Many times I had to go out looking for food. Maybe because you're hungry. You're wrong. Drops of spring water into tadpoles. Keep going deep into the forest, and saw a plant on the cliff. The roots contain a lot of carbohydrate. You harvest a little and taste. Tastes like licorice. It's much sweeter than beef. Come back when you're done. I was surprised when you see the spring water rise a few inches in just a few hours. Fortunately, the fire was high enough, but the moss underneath is filled with water. If not handled, will reduce heat and increase fuel consumption. You move the fire somewhere else. Uproot moss and start a fire on bare rock. Then he collected 10 dry branches nearby to build a roof cover for the bed, with an optimal angle of inclination that takes advantage of heat from the fire. He made a frame out of big tree branches, cover moss on top, complete a simple shelter. But not yet excited. You found the sieve. Horizontal of the roof under load does not float, are bent and at risk of collapsing at any time. To rest assured repair in the evening, you use a wooden stick to support. Current in for survival factors. You just lack food. Sitting by the fire, I think about the plan, tomorrow, and confidently declare what you will do. That's impressive. The next morning when I was about to get into action, horizontal sieve roof suddenly broke due to not being able to bear the weight. It almost hurt you. It's worse than rain and snow. Make your mood drop to the bottom. But to complete the challenge, I dare not waste time. Immediately remove the roof, instead of a bigger and stronger tree. Then, repeat the steps as before to complete the shelter. On the 5th day, He started looking for food along the coast. Under a rock I found a clam. Put it in your mouth immediately. Keep looking. I found some screws. A big oyster and to sea prisoners. Take it all back to camp, you roast on a fire. Grilled seafood is both delicious and delicious. The meat is crispy. It makes me so happy. Then, I beat up some sea snails to make a nice dessert. And then fall asleep. The next morning it was snowing again. The fire almost went out. Because there's no spare wood, you've got to adopt a new kind of ignition. But with the current situation, this way is not very effective. I look for long logs nearby. Into a long-shaped bonfire. And carefully take care that the fire burns strong. The damp moss-covered roof also evaporates water, but not in anticipation of what's going to happen. Until evening, because the fire was too strong, the roof is on fire, but luckily the rain wet the roof. So fire is not wide land. The challenge has been over a week. But so far I haven't found a decent source of food. Till today, I decided to explore more remote areas. And it's amazing. A great sea appeared before my eyes. When I got closer, I found a lot of clams. So much that land overflows everywhere. I said I've never seen so many clams in my life. That's not enough to eat forever. He excitedly picked up clams with his hat. And at the same time, we found another area, sea, and seafood nearby. I can imagine how rich this evening will be. Back to camp, he used the simplest way of baking. Put seaweed and clams on fire, using birch bark as a plate. Soon the delicious meal was ready. Separating a clam out, large clam meat plump throughout. Just looking at it makes people crave it. When eating sweet soft clams, combined with a fresh seaweed salad, it tastes great. It ends with a scorched piece of seaweed. I feel living here for a year doesn't matter. He even gathered some soft moss that flowed onto the bed. To increase smoothness, he officially announced that he was living a royal life. The morning after the challenge ended, you pack your bags and complete the challenge in a successful way. The hungry expert seems lucky this time. Not using traps, but I caught a 2.5-pound wild goose. Combined with barley, Stafford cooked a Thai chicken curry. Toned frog meat and baked potatoes. Brittle outside, soft inside. This trip completely broke 3 days of hunger. 9 meals. This time, he set foot on 3 golden balls in Thailand. This is where the world's toughest laws are. It's still a drug trafficking haven today. With a cheap little plane from the film crew, I quickly arrived at the challenge site. After landing, he took off his clothes and put on a blur. As the helicopter leaves, the challenge officially begins. As usual, you don't bring food or survival gear. Be careful you don't even wear your hair. The only equipment you carry is a camera and a set of clothes. Emergency rescue friends or follow the program. We all know that in survival, the most important thing is to find water. There's no map or compass. Dose work. Going down the mountain is not a smart choice. I stand on high to observe and plan. Then monitor the surrounding area. To avoid wasting unnecessary energy when returning, I decided to leave the device in place and into a valley. If you can't find water, you'll come back. However, the movement here needs to be extremely careful, because you'll never know there's a snake at your feet, bison, or the valley scorpion. After more than 2 hours of trekking, your mouth is dry, but still haven't seen a drop of water. Fortunately, God doesn't care about the bald man. After a further journey, I found some bananas in the distance. I also knows that whole-body bananas are useful, so I ran right away. There is no cutting tool available. You can just keep punching the trunk with your fists. The falling debris is filled with water. Eat into the sweet mouth. Give me some strength. Then you come back. Unleashed accidental iron punches and knocked out the banana tree. Successfully picked bananas on the top. Excited, he forced his mouth to make a strange sound. I can't believe I picked up a banana and put it in my mouth. I almost broke my dentures because bananas are too hard when you peel off the black inside. It doesn't look like anything that can be eaten. Even worse, the sky is thunder now. Warning that it is about to rain. I realized I hadn't built a shelter yet. You are always calm. Immediately fell into panic. Fortunately, the bark of the banana tree, it can be used to make clothes. I collected 11 little tearing, squeezed and wrapped up. Soon enough, You've got a cape made of bananas. And then he carried a banana tree as a source of water. And back to the top of the mountain, where to put 3 lots. Now the sky has begun to darken. It looks like the rain is about to fall. Get to the top of the mountain before it rains, but there's clearly not enough time to build a shelter. I just hit the banana tree to get additional water for the body. Prepare for the storm tonight. On a lonely mountain top, there's no place to hide. You have to go down the mountain, find a small tall tree to cover, and then cover it with a thick layer of leaves to keep it warm. That night I could only lie through the storm. The next morning, fortunately, didn't rain last night, but you're still shivering. To replenish the energy expended, I caught some cicadas on the tree. It doesn't matter if they're clean. Take off your wings and put them in your mouth. Sweet and crispy taste. Their protein is definitely higher than beef. Then he carried his luggage and went down to the foot of the mountain. On the way, I found a lot of wild plums on the ground. If you taste a piece, it tastes a little sour. After another 2.5 hours, a clear stream suddenly appeared in front of. No need to filter or boil. He bent down to drink every sip to quench his thirst. Then you go against the stream. Find an empty space to camp. No cutting tools. He went to the stream to choose a sharp stone. And then back to the bamboo forest that had gone through before. Very solid cover, but after doing my best to pull and saw, I also cut down about 10 trees and carried them. Camp based on the principle. 3 senses of stability learned in elementary school. You've built the main frame for shelter. And then you find the banana leaf on top. Completed a hut in the middle of the forest. Extremely rugged and delicate. When I finished, I was sweating. And the local mosquitoes are constantly attacking you. I just want to soak in the water right now. I went to a small lake nearby. Washed from head to toe. I didn't forget to wash my thick black hair. After removing all the dirt, I babysit Ra until he's 60. That night I was in a solid hut. No more worrying about the storm. I woke up early the next morning. Proud of your appearance. According to the habit, I decided to start a fire to prepare for the new day. He went on to use another bamboo stick and cross it, rubbing frantically for over an hour. Until you create the spark. He put this spark on the straw nest and blew it. The warm fire immediately flared up. Is a British gentleman. The first thing you do after you start a fire is make 1 cup of tea. I broke a piece of bamboo to make a cup. Draw some of my bath water. A few more slices of wild ginger. After half an hour of tasting, I said it was so delicious. After adding some water, I decided to set some traps. Because skills be a hungry day. Your 9 meals have been activated several times. Then I came to an empty field nearby and keep using the old way, making holes out of rocks and sticks, using grasshoppers left over from the diet as bait. If you're lucky, you'll have a big party tomorrow. While waiting for the trap to work, I won't sit still, because it doesn't fit my style. I remember taking a shower and seeing the tadpoles. I want to see if I can catch a frog. After groping for half a day, I actually caught one. Hurry up and finish it with a stone. But when you're going to skewer the frog to bake, I can't believe it's faking death, and just for a second, it jumps out of form. Watch the precious protein slip out of your hand. I was so angry that I almost caught fire. But as they say, there's a chance. I keep searching in the hope of finding it. Other food. You caught a bigger frog. Learn from last time. This time I didn't hold my hand. After a while, the frog that became the meat skewer was brought back. Grill on fire for half an hour. A fragrant roasted frog just right. He tore a plump piece of thigh meat and put it in his mouth. Feel the fresh and firm taste. It brings a sense of happiness. Not to mention the amount. It has thousands of times more protein than beef. He ate enough to keep making a bird trap. You use a crooked tree as an exo. Fasten the noose to the trigger mechanism. As long as the animal doesn't tread carefully, they'll immediately become a source of calories. After being busy, it gets dark. The heavy rain has been brewing for days. It's finally coming down. He hurriedly moved the fire at the door into the tent. Fortunately, the tent of bamboo sure enough to save you from the disaster. When the rain stopped, I checked the mouse trap, and I found a little mouse that was stuck. This lucky trap excites me so much. Scream for joy. Then bring the booty back to camp and roast it on the fire. Then, he bit a crunchy piece like a duck's neck. with a protein content several 10 times higher than beef. You eat so clean that you don't leave a bone. Blinking eyes on Friday. I'm used to the rain and the sun. I'm going to make a water bottle myself today. He used bamboo to cut a small slit. Gently knock and get to pieces bamboo. And then you cut off the inside of one head, so they can fit together. And so a portable water bottle was completed. To the 8th day, to prove that I can live here for a long time, I decided to imitate the way of life. Residents of indigenous inhabitants, you fill up with fresh water, carrying with fire igniter and cooking bamboo tube. There's only one woodcutter missing now. I searched for half a day. I finally found a piece of rock and tie it to a stick, made into an axe. I found a banana tree to test the effectiveness of the axe. The sharpness is not inferior to the ancient battle axe. Everything is ready. Before he left, he decided to check the bird traps. I saw the trap activate from a distance. When I got closer, I found a chicken inside. Lie still. It looks like it's been sleeping, but it's been gone for a long time. It's fun. I can't help but laugh out loud. Then I went back to camp. Bring all your belongings and officially start the life of migration. On the way, I collected 10 ingredients. Just moving and resting. When you find an empty space, I started preparing the royal party. First he plucked the hair. Chopped the chicken into small pieces, combined with sorghum, ginger and palm oil, all stuffed in bamboo tubes and baked on charcoal. In 30 minutes, a new Thai chicken curry out of the oven. Oh my god, the taste is so good. Light fishy taste of khao san ho, perfectly blended with the sour taste of palm oil and the fresh taste of chicken. Create the VA touch. Full of interesting flavors in the oral cavity. You eat very well and you're full. It was the morning of the 10th day, when the helicopter sounds. This time the challenge is officially over. This is definitely a game. Stafford played the worst. At first thought that moving in the wilderness, Africa is full of protein, will help him avoid 3 days of hunger and 9 meals. I can't believe it made him practice his skills. Passivity to a high level. Just skip the catfish. It's a small river weighing 2 tons to catch. Decided to pretend to lick wild figs, risking being stung by bees just to look after Cho. The whole journey is unspeakable. This time he went to the Okavango Plains in Botswana, Africa, where there's not just 20,000 kilometers of land, but the wild animals still look lifelike. Before the challenge begins, I asked the busman local a few survival tips. Then go to the courier service, the nucleus of the camera crew. With just one jump, we quickly got to where we needed to be. After landing, he quickly takes off his clothes and gets dressed. Cover: there is no camera crew. There is no survival. Program delegation. I didn't even want to film his hair. In the next 10 days, he will face death on his own. People who have been to Europe, Africa knows that wild animals, it's not the pleasant kind here. And now these politically legitimate reproductive skills, it's getting harder. So, the immediate imperative is to find shelter. He brought it, equipment and advance into the interior of the island. Just a few steps away, we found a piece of bone, used as a cutting tool. Extremely helpful. Go a few steps further, he discovered that there were many wild trees on the riverbank, suitable for use as clothing. There's a lot of crocodiles in this river. Once standing for a long time, there is a risk of immediate reflection. I quickly collected 11 interesting things. In just a few steps, woven a little dress. Then he chose a big tree as a camp. You can't just avoid the sun. It can also protect from animals. More important, you can climb to the top of the tree for safety. After solving the hiding problem, I'm going to upgrade. The climate here is hot and dry. You can easily find the materials you need to start a fire. And then you use these 10 materials to build a tool. You start a familiar job again. You use your frictionless hands madly. A moment later there was a small fire. And then he breathed softly into the fire, and the fire ignited successfully. To ensure safety, he divided the fire into 2 parts and sleep in a fire at night. On the second day of the challenge, wake up early in the morning, I saw a baboon are challenging themselves. I remember the warning of the locals that these baboons can attack humans. And the most effective way to chasing them out is shouting at them. Try screaming for a few hours. Make the baboons doggy seem to understand the goodwill and leave. And then he picked a berry tea. I see a sweet and sour taste, rich in vitamin C many times than beef. However, eating only plants is not enough. I need to find more food. If you want to live here for a long time, I started exploring the surrounding area and discovered a flat land. After a thorough inspection, I found grass-like plants. If you want to travel in this area, you need to make shoes. I'm looking for a piece of hard bark and use bones to make some small holes. Then threw the bark through these holes. Not long after, he had made a pair of slippers. Even though it looks rudimentary and unsophisticated, but it's enough for you to walk through the meadows. When passing through, I see a lot of birds living nearby. If they can be caught, they'll be a source of food, but the time is late. I can only wait until tomorrow to set the trap. As night falls, the sky is suddenly overcast. The thunder thundered and soon it began to rain. You haven't built a shelter yet. If the heavy rain puts out the fire, your situation will be dangerous. So, I spent a nervous night. Fortunately, the fire was not extinguished. I learned my lesson from last night. The first thing you do when you wake up is build a shelter. I found a large, long tree nearby to sift through. Then collect 10 lots of palm leaves and stack them neatly to sides of the tree. Just for a short time, you've created a simple shelter. I can't stay long enough to avoid the rain. Next, you make a roof for your precious fire. After completing these jobs, you don't rest. You collect 10 more bark. Use your hands to make a rope. And then continue to do the loop. I lost the afternoon to make a number of loops. A total of 10. At night it starts to rain again. But this time I have a roof. Not as worried as before. The next morning, he carried the rope and left the shelter to set a trap. Just got out a little. I saw a fresh pile of hippopotamus dung. It's only about 70 to 80 meters from the camp. Fortunately, there is a fire to protect them. After going one more paragraph, I saw a dead antelope. Even though it can't be eaten, but the horns, it's a very good earth-moving tool on top of it. You continue to the open ground that I discovered the day before, where there are footprints of many antelope. You start immediately, and the trap is still the old way. Use a small tree to make a filter trap. As long as an animal doesn't step on it, it will be trapped. You've set 3 noose traps, and when it's done, it's dark. Time goes by quickly. While going out, I found a bat in the tree. For you who have been hungry for 5 days, this bat is just as attractive as a girlfriend. But with no tools, it's impossible to catch it. But where there are bats, there's fruit. You look around and actually spotted some of the fruit and dropped it. It's amazing that there are worms inside. It's definitely a good source of protein. I didn't hesitate to put it in my mouth. The sweetness of the fruit mixes with the softness of the worms. It's amazing. Looking for food, he found a river. Follow the horse's path. I quickly reached the river. After a long walk, my throat is dry. While you bend down to drink water, suddenly I heard a strange sound. Look towards the source of the sound. I was surprised to see a bunch of catfish eating. So many that it blocked the entire river. If it was normal, I would have rushed right over. But it's so big, will definitely attract the attention of the crocodiles nearby. So I've decided not to participate in this bush. I finally returned to camp with nothing in my hand. To the 6th day. Early in the morning I checked the bird traps, but as predicted, no birds were trapped. It's even more unlucky. Back to camp. One of your shoes is broken. It took me precious time to fix it. I remember all the days. I'm just following a path. Today, I decided to find a new way. I hope to find another source of food. Your decision was indeed the right one. I couldn't go long, I found a beehive. Think of the sweet wild honey inside. I just want to get it out right away. But I realize this is clearly a risk. Want to get honey can only use the smoke method. Today's time is not up. I decided to go back to camp and figure out tomorrow. I can't wait to get back to camp. A large animal appeared. Made him panic, climb a tree and dare not move. Fortunately, the hippopotamus just walked around the fire one round and left. You carefully climb down the tree after it's gone. Next day, in the morning I took my tools to get honey. When it was still dark, he lit a fire in the tree. Then, he He took the camera bag and held the torch in his left hand, right hand with deer horns, taking advantage of the chaos hitting the hive. After a while, I finally got out a piece of honey. Black and hard, even though there's a bit of wax and it doesn't taste very good, but it provides enough energy for you to survive. For the remaining few days, on the way back to camp, I found some more nuts. Unrestrained joy uttered a word of joy. This proves that if there's no surprise, you can live here a long time. After another night, the day came home. The production team's plane came to pick you up on time, and the challenge program this time, it ended beautifully.